years ago, my husband and I stumbled upon an absolute diamond in the rough real estate wise. We had been heavily considering selling our dream farmhouse to downsize and just simplify our lives, but we were waiting for the right property to make the jump to. And when this little cottage nestled deep in the woods in the most perfect location popped onto the market, we jumped on it so fast. It was absolutely perfect for us. We knew before we even went inside, except there was one major drawback, and that was that it was a complete fixer-upper. Everything from a technical standpoint to a cosmetic standpoint, it needed everything to be redone, which is really daunting, but it's also really exciting. So I have been able to spearhead the complete design of this whole home, and there is still so much left for us to do, and I have been bringing you guys along on this whole journey with us. So I want to give you a little bit of an update. Periodically, I like to kind of take you guys through the projects we've completed, kind of the state of the cottage and where we're at. So I'm going to share with you guys some of the updates we've completed recently. So a few months ago, I shared these shelves with you guys that we built to go around this kind of awkward space around our kitchen window. So I shared these shelves with you. They were a pretty simple build. I had Matt put them together. I painted them just to match the beadboard with the paint color is Benjamin Moore Gallery Buff. It's like the perfect tan with like a pink undertone. I love it. But we still had this gap above the window that I knew I wanted to fill as well. So I had Matt built just this really super simple plate rack, and I painted it that same color so it just all matched the beadboard. And we made that to go above the window. And I absolutely love how it turned out. It just finished off this space. As you can see, it's just kind of a blank, empty space up there. And I knew when we built the shelves that this is what I was going to do, but you know how it goes with life and kids. The home projects tend to move at a glacial pace. So I had been looking at this wall for not years, but every single day, it felt like years, every single day, imagining this plate rack and what it was going to look like. So it's always so incredibly satisfying to see it actually completed. It's almost like your brain can finally rest because you just stop imagining it every time you look at the wall. And I just stuck some of my antique plates up there that I've collected through the years. I've gotten a bunch from Goodwill. I've also gotten a bunch from antique shops. I love decorating with plates. It definitely has a very much English cottage vibe. It's also just kind of simple and practical. Love it in a kitchen. And that is one of the most recent smaller projects we completed, and I love it so much. I try to be very intentional about creating beauty and calm in my home because that brings me joy, but also I want to create an atmosphere for my family that they really feel invited into and want to be in. And while I feel like those efforts are not in vain, there is still definitely a lot of chaos that goes on in our house between raising 4 small kids, running a business out of the home, all the home projects going on. And in order for me to keep up with it all, I definitely need to take care of myself. And a big piece of that for me is staying on top of my supplements. And one of my most favorite key supplements I take to help with hydration and my energy levels and just how I feel overall is Element. Element is hands down my top choice when it comes to electrolyte drink mixes. So many people are dehydrated and just don't even realize it. And this is such a simple thing. You just mix it into your water, and not only is it going to help you feel better, but it's going to help your body function at a more optimal level. Element contains sodium, potassium, and magnesium, all of which are key electrolytes that your body utilizes in many different processes. For example, fluid balance, clearing waste out of your cells, transporting glucose, good sleep, muscle synthesis, repairing DNA, energy production. And you need to continually replenish your electrolytes, especially this time of year. It's summer, it's hot, we're outside, we're sweating, and we're losing electrolytes a lot faster. So not only will Element replenish those key electrolytes, it also doesn't contain any types of additives, artificial colors. It also has no sugar. So it contains those electrolytes you want, but without any of the additives, fillers, or artificial ingredients that you don't want. Right now, Element is offering my viewers a free 8-count sample pack of their most popular drink mix flavors with any purchase at drinkelement.com/Becca Bristow. To get 2 of each of their most popular flavors for free, go to drinklmnt.com/Becca Bristow. All right, so I want to bring you guys into the family room which has just been kind of limping along from a design standpoint, but slowly but surely we're getting there. So I shared back in, I think like the beginning of the winter, this project where we started painting this room and adding trim just to add some more character. So I painted all of the window trim. We also added chair rail trim around the room and painted it all Quincy Tan by Benjamin Moore. We still plan to add picture frame molding on the lower half of the wall where it's painted, but we just haven't quite gotten there yet. And then speaking of projects just being slow, life getting in the way, this is a perfect example. So I literally painted half of these shelves, or we painted half these shelves, or really just the bottom half, the cabinets, where we did put doors on those before. If you look back at previous footage of how this looked originally, the shelves were just all open and just kind of strange, and I would have never decorated the bottom part because my kids would have just ripped basically everything off the shelves. So we added the cabinet doors, we painted them all, and then it was around Christmas time and I was really itching to decorate the built-ins for Christmas. So I decided to just hold off on finishing the paint project. And then here we are, casually just now in June. And I finally just said, I'm painting the shelves. I'm just taking everything off. Once I just start, I know it will get done in just a few days, maybe less. And that's exactly, of course, what happened. It was really not that hard. I pretty much did the whole first coat. Matt jumped in, he did the second coat, and we got it done. And it just looks so much better now, obviously, because it was like half white and half brown. And I always wanted this to be painted all the same color so that it looks like built-ins, which they are. And it's just so much more cohesive now. I love the way that all the decor turned out against that rich tan beautiful color. I plan to just continue to collect books and just fill this thing with books, but right now I'm just decorating with whatever I have, and so that's basically what I did. And I just am so happy that this project is finally complete-ish. We're still definitely working on this room. Like I said, the picture frame molding, and I want to put lots and lots of art on the wall, some kind of gallery wall situation, but I'm slowly collecting things for that. So the next thing I wanted to share is less about designing and more so like prepping for designing. So welcome to my son's room, which has randomly just turned into kind of a catch-all. Ever since we renovated the kids' bathroom up here, we just started storing stuff in here, and then of course I just ignored it for a really long time because I didn't feel like dealing with it. So I'm finally dealing with it because we do soon want to like turn our attention to the kids' room and design those. I'm not quite ready to dive in yet, but I am thinking about it. I'm kind of in the early stages of deciding what exactly I want to do, starting to look for things on Facebook Marketplace, like antiques to collect. And I just really wanted to get this room organized. So I just went through and I got rid of just moved out all of the random like storage boxes that had been stuck in here. We finally got a closet rod in this closet so I can finally hang up all his little clothes, and just basically kind of got this room back to a baseline. It's like half decorated. He still has like a hand-me-down pink rug from his sisters. He's also 2, so he doesn't care, but I care, and I really want to give him like a really awesome, fun boy room when I'm ready to tackle that project. But for now, I was just doing the not so fun work, which is organizing and decluttering and just kind of getting this room prepped to actually design it, which I'm very much looking forward to. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with his room yet, but I kind of want to paint it like a deep hunter green and maybe add a bunch of trim if I can. I don't know if you guys remember in the bathroom right next to this room, we tried to add trim and the walls literally were spitting the nails out. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish that. But the next thing I wanted to share with you guys is another major project that has been slowly going on here for the past several months. And that is getting the front flower gardens started. So we have these 2 plots on either side of our front door. They're like, they mirror each other. There's this adorable little stone path that goes up to our door and kind of surrounds these areas. But since we moved in, they've basically been mud pits that in the summertime, a ton of hostas will pop up. And I don't dislike hostas, but I didn't want just a hosta garden. It also just looked really overgrown and like unkept in the summertime because it was for a long time. And I really just wanted to make like a like a cottage flower garden. So I still want to have like that kind of wild, whimsy, colorful, organized chaos of a garden. But I definitely wanted to bring in a lot of flowers. So this has been an ongoing project. First, we had to dig out all of the hostas, which is I'm still kind of digging them out as they're continuing to pop up. I might leave a few in, but for now I'm just trying to get like real flowers going. But so we had to dig everything out, which started over the springtime, and we just kind of hopped in here whenever we had a chance. And then we laid down a bunch of compost that we dug out of our chicken coop when we actually had to move our chicken coop. And then we actually got to the planting. So I put a bunch of different things in here, and this is my first foray into flower gardening, so I honestly can't even remember off the top of my head half the things I planted, but we have dwarf hydrangeas. I do have a few David Austin rose bushes right along the front fence line that I planted last year, and they're actually starting to take off this year, which is really exciting because this is definitely like a part sun garden. It is not full sun, so I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but they are taking off. There are astilbes. I have Jacob's Ladder. I have some tick seed, I think it's called, a bunch of flowers. I stuck mostly perennials, and then along the border I did some annuals as well. But like I said, I am totally new to flower gardening. I've literally never planted anything but a vegetable plant or a berry bush in my life, so this is new. And of course, I'm obsessed. Now I notice flowers wherever I go. I am so cognizant of other people's gardens, and I'm always finding inspiration everywhere I go. And I am just truly so excited to watch this garden grow over the next few years. The weird thing about starting a garden is, I thought so much about the planning of this, what I wanted in the garden, what would actually grow well here, how the placement would be. It's kind of awkward, these two plots. It's like more of like an island garden because it's not like it's backs up like up to a house where you can have like different varying heights of plants. So I thought this pretty much to death. And I kind of not really going to know how it's going to really look for like another few years because it takes a few years for these plants to get to their mature sizes. So it's going to be a fun journey just to kind of see how this goes. Right now, it's very much a baby garden. There's a lot of blank space, but I also know that these plants are going to double, triple, quadruple in size. So over the next few years, it's going to be a lot less space. But as we go, I'm just going to continue to add in more and edit and just really create that dream cottage garden right in the front of our house, which is just, totally maximizes the curb appeal. It is such an adorable cottage home, but it just had these dirt pits right outside for the longest time that were just full of weeds. And so now we actually have some real cottage charm going, and it just makes me so happy every time we walk by this garden. It actually looks beautiful. It looks finished. It looks intentional. And I just really loved this. I'm totally on the gardening train now. There is so much landscaping we can do here. This is just one small project. I could basically turn this thing into a secret garden, which is my plan over the next few years. And I could not be more excited to tackle that. Another thing I did, just a small project, was to put some little pots with some flowers by the front door. Because the front looks very blank. We put white siding on this house. We had to redo the siding earlier than we anticipated because the old cedar siding was just in really rough shape. So we went with a siding that was within our budget, and there was not very many color choices, unfortunately, and I had to go with a bright white, which I really didn't want, but it's what I got, so I'm working with it, and I just feel like it's just kind of harsh. So adding as many flowers as possible. I would love to get some window boxes on maybe next year. But for now, we've got these beautiful pots and we have all of these flowers outside, and it just makes me so happy because we're actually starting to see my vision come to life as far as the exterior of the home, because we're now finally starting to focus on the exterior, and it's just very, very exciting, and it brings me the most joy. So thank you guys so much for joining me, following along on this journey of us fixing up this cottage home. I have had so much fun with it, as I'm sure you guys can tell, and I'm so excited to continue to share all of these projects with you guys. If you have yet to subscribe, I would love for you to join my little community here on YouTube, and I will see you guys in the next video.